Internet Investigations. I almost said welcome back to Internet Investigations. So if you are back, welcome back to Internet Investigations. I am your psychedelic psychopomp, Chase Clarence Calloway. And in today's episode, we are looking at Zoroastrianism. It's important for you to know that Dragon Ball Z is all Zoroastrianism. It's the Masons taking Zoroastrian principles and creating art out of it. So it's all Masonic art about Zoroastrian ideas. And the Zoroastrian idea is how when the space creates a mind to express itself, that mind is forever expansive. So this is why when you watch Dragon Ball Z, you're going to see how the characters never stop growing in power level because their chi is always flowing. Their chi is always growing because their spirit is always knowing. So when you as a space know that you're supreme and awesome and you're the most powerful space in existence, you're going to create a mind that expresses that. And that's going to allow you to communicate in ways that no one else can, which looks like Dragon Ball Z characters, right? It looks like you going Super Saiyan. It looks like you being able to fly, shoot lasers out of your eyes, shoot fireballs, bullets just bounce off of your skin, right? Like we're talking about your mind because your mind builds your body. So this is all Mercurian wisdom that they stole from me, okay? And it's basically superpowers. This is what it's all about. It's about knowing that you as a space are infinite because space is boundless. Space is endless, which means that everything that comes out of your space is boundless. Everything that comes out of your space is endless. This is why, again, Dragon Ball Z is just weaponized Zoroastrianism. They should be teaching you this openly like we have been, but they stole all this wisdom from me, from Metatron, so that they could make you a slave to their imagination. And now they can make money off of making you worship their ideas. So don't worship these characters. Know that they're representations of what you can do, but in your own individual way. So that's the point of Zoroastrianism. All right, Zoroastrianism is knowing that your inner space allows you to travel to outer space. And this is why now Europeans and Masons are super obsessed with alchemizing Earth into metal and traveling to outer space and going interstellar and conquering Mars. Going back home. No, they conquer Earth. Going back home with their alien shit or whatever. But in general, they want to conquer all the galaxy, right? Like that's all they talk about as far as interdimensional warfare, Star Trek, Star Wars, their whole desire when it comes to space travel. They're obsessed with colonizing other places because they don't like their own inner space. If they enjoyed their own inner space, they would make a world where they don't feel like they need to colonize anyone else's. If they knew how to love themselves, they would just create a self-sustaining toroid, a self-sustaining circumstance for themselves to support their spirit. So now they can be aware of their own imagination. They can be aware of everything they want to be aware of. They can just chill inside of their dreams and connect with their family consensually instead of needing to use the lies that they stole from the truth and then weaponize all these indigenous ideas against the entire world. It's so ugly what the banking system is doing. So here we are looking at Britannica.com on Zoroastrianism, religion. Great. What is Zoroastrianism? Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, having originated in ancient Persia. So that was Zarathustra, the prophet of Ahura Mazda, bringing astrology to Earth, which was him as Hermes bringing all the knowledge of Mercury to Earth so that they could start building upon it and correlating their bodies together. So this is how we all started correlating our bodies to one another and got our spirituality in check. And everyone knew about Hermeticism. Everyone knew that their mind was a hermetic lock on their soul. No one could see anything inside of their space because everyone knew that they had to choose to step outside of their space to start expressing how they felt about their own ideas. And boom, everyone knows that they're an infinite individual. So I'm just doing what I have been doing. I just have to update it with all these new words and speak English and be able to do shit properly, whatever. It's a whole thing. It contains both monotheistic and dualistic elements. And many scholars believe Zoroastrianism influenced the belief systems of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So, of course, they can't outright, for the sake of their egos, right, objectively say that they stole all of their drip from me. Because then you just be like, oh, well, why don't I just go look at Zoroastrianism? But they have to sprinkle the truth in there. Like many scholars believe Zoroastrianism influenced the belief systems of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. When Jesus is objectively a whitewashed version of Zarathustra. It's just their made up idea of sacrificing your spiritual individual to the government that is colonizing lands. Objectively, that's what they've been doing. When did Zoroastrianism start? Zoroastrianism dates back to the 6th century BCE. Founded in ancient Persia, it has likely influenced the development of Judaism and predates both Christianity and Islam. Right, it predates Christianity and Islam and Judaism by a lot. They stole all of their ideas from Zoroastrianism. Britannica.com is saying it right here. This is why we're doing this series. I'm doing this for me. This is fun for me. I have to make this fun for me. It's, you know. How was Zoroastrianism founded? You can actually go to Chase Your Genes to learn that, but let's see what Britannica says, right? Because of course they're going to have like archaeological details and everything based on how they get to colonize the world and use their time systems and language to categorize these structures. Zoroastrianism was founded in Persia in the 6th century BCE by the priest Zarathustra, known to be the Greeks as Zoroaster or Hermes Trismegistus. I wish they would say that here, but they don't want you to know the power of space, the power of chase. Zarathustra reformed existing Persian polytheism with his teachings about the highest god, Ahura Mazda, and his primeval clash with Ahura Mazda, the destructive spirit. So they're talking about Zarathustra being the structure created by Ahura Mazda to bring astrology to Earth, and how spirits are always working to colonize Mercury so that they can use his ideas to gain their own stability, which is exactly what the Jews and Masons have done to build their New World Order. So now they're going to weaponize the whole idea of spiritual warfare, and this is where now life is getting meta. And they're literally releasing the metaverse to refer to how meta it is, that they stole everything from Metatron while trying to be the evil but be seen as good. They want to be as evil as possible while being seen as good as possible. That's their whole meta thing that they're trapped in. That's the mind of a fucking Mason. They want to be as evil as possible internally, but they want to be seen as good as possible externally. That's why they're using the metaverse to act like it's good that they're going to connect you on their system, when really their system was been built on the genocide, rape, and murder of indigenous individuals. It's been propagating that since its inception, and it's only going to work to harness your energy to trap you in a world where you're going to support that unknowingly. And if you are knowing, then you just don't care. So, fine. Good versus evil. Zarathustra's teachings grew to dominate Persia, but they fluctuated in popularity as various empires and cultures overtook the region. Where has Zoroastrianism been practiced? Zoroastrianism was founded in Persia, now Iran, but Zoroastrians have been the subject of persecution under Islamic regimes. Zoroastrianism flourished freely in India, where a number of Persian followers immigrated in the 10th century. They are known as Parsis. Parsis? Parsis? Parsis. I haven't learned it, so I have to say what it looks like. What are the major beliefs of Zoroastrianism? So again, by the way, the whole Illuminati government, New World Order people, they worship Zoroastrianism and practice it very hard. It's just that in the open, they don't want you to know that Zoroaster was their version of Doctor Strange. Literally, astrology is being able to spell your life into existence. So when you have that power, then everything from there is like a micro version of using your astrological alignments to spell out your life. And that's literally Doctor Strange being able to do anything. So that was Zarathustra bringing all that Mercury knowledge to Earth that they're weaponizing against everyone. So they use Zoroastrianism against you. And this is where they're not going to want you to care about it out in the open. They want you to care about their religion that they made up to dull you and keep you trapped. What are the major beliefs of Zoroastrianism? The major beliefs of Zoroastrianism can be found in its principal holy text, the Avesta. This text claims that the highest god and creator, Ahura Mazda, creator of astrology, is engaged in a primeval battle against Ahura Mazda, the destructive spirit. I don't have any enemies. So, in general, it would just be about colonialism and like the desire to possess spaces outside of yourself. So there's two things. Like you either possess yourself or you want to possess spaces outside of yourself / be possessed by spaces outside of yourself. So if you want to possess yourself, you're going to be hermetic. That's going to be you being Ahura Mazda for yourself. So that's going to be you being hermetic in your own space. And now you're a good spirit. But if you want to possess other spirits or you want to be possessed by other spirits, you're going to be an evil spirit. And then this is where you get opened up to anger or angra mainyu, or just in general, the idea of not being fulfilled inside of yourself. So you need to be infinitely connected to spaces outside of yourself. And then this is where now we get Zoroastrianism, fire being good, water being bad. Because water is the colonizer. Water kills the fire. And the fire is a spirit experiencing itself and expressing its individuality. So this is important to know that you either want to possess yourself or you want to be possessed by someone outside of yourself. And there's no shortage of evil spirits who want to possess spirits outside of themselves, because I mean, that's the whole point. Like a good spirit does not want to possess another spirit. So you're not going to get possessed by a good spirit if you want to be possessed. I want you to know that right now. If you want to be possessed by a spirit outside of yourself, if you want to channel anything outside of yourself, you're probably not going to channel anything good, because there's no shortage of evil spirits, of evil entities who will channel garbage through you. This is where it's important hermetically to have a family. This is where we have real Zoroastrianism. Build your functional family on a spiritual level. So now if you're channeling anything outside of yourself, it's from a source that you trust. Literally. It's from a source that you trust. And then that's the point of being able to connect with spaces outside of yourself and now actually build some sort of real relationship, instead of dealing with spiritual warfare where people are going to try and kill you after they steal your ideas. Because that's what Mercury has to deal with. So that's what everyone has to deal with when you're building a mind. So this is why I'm making it relatable for you, astrologically. So when you're using your Mercury to build a mind, or when you're using your mind to build a body, there we go. When you're using your Mercury mind, your Merkaba, to build a body, this simulation that allows you to stabilize your mind, this is where you're always going to get colonizers. You're always going to get people who want your time. Again, think about the government now. To bring that down, people who tell you need to work for money, so now you need to go work a job, and you need to go serve their system, and you need to go slave away to make their thing real. That's someone who just took your body and made it work for them, instead of teaching you that you made your body so you can work for yourself. So now I as Chase have to be here doing that because this world's so lost and all my teachings have been stolen and weaponized against you. So now you think slavery is smarter than freedom. And people in America especially think that slavery is the way to freedom. They're like, oh, okay, so if I'm a slave for my whole life, then I'll be free in heaven. And that's the witchcraft. That's the witchcraft that Jews and Christians have set up. It's so wild. They're so evil. And this is them weaponizing Zoroastrianism against you. Wait, if you were your own Dragon Ball Z character, you have no business caring about someone else's heaven. What would Goku look like if a Jew came out to him like, hey, you need to work on our system so you can go to heaven? No, literally, they make a point in Dragon Ball Z that that's all the normal people who don't have powers. Do you see that? Like, they make that point. It's so funny. They really make that point. That all the characters in Dragon Ball Z who actually have superpowers are the ones who are not slaving away on a Jewish system that's teaching them that their mind is not infinitely expansive. A Jew or Christian is not going to teach you that. That's why they worship the idea of superheroes. But then they have that weaponized against them by Jesus. But then they still look up to Superman. And they look up to all these superheroes like Marvel characters. But then Marvel just programs you to fight yourself. Again, Doctor Strange 2 is literally Doctor Strange and Wanda fighting each other. The superheroes just fight each other. Civil War, the superheroes just fight each other. These Masons can't work together to even colonize your attention without fighting each other. Literally, like fucking Captain America, Civil War. Nazis own the government. They objectively say that in Captain America's Civil War. Then Captain America 2. In Captain America 2, Captain America literally deals with a Nazi infiltration of the government that he had been serving up to that point. They can only talk about themselves, but they want themselves to be relatable to you because that's how they program you to accept more of their behavior. It's so evil. This is why Christians and white people in general have been supporting slavery of black people for the inception of America. They were programmed to literally support that behavior and to encourage it through the Bible. They were programmed by the Holy Bible to encourage racism against black people. This is why white and black, these ideas of race are specifically hermetic, weaponized truths that are meant to trap your idea of how light moves. So now, instead of you moving as an infinitely indigenous individual, like I have to teach you now, or share with you now, whatever, but like I have to share with the world now, instead of everyone being an infinitely indigenous individual, people in America especially identify as either white or black. And then that traps them in a certain way that light moves. So now black is always be black. Black is always supposed to be supporting the expression of how white colonizes everything that was already created. Now we have destructive climate change. We have America destroying the world because white people just want to eat everything and lie about it. And that happens in all these levels. White people just want to eat everything and lie about it. Literally, again, Masons cannibalizing indigenous individuals and then teaching you that you need to eat the body of Christ for salvation. So then they're weaponized the truth. They tell you what they're doing, but they would lie to you about it in open doors because the point is they're trapped in this fucking huge ass contradiction of wanting to be as evil as possible behind closed doors, but appear like the biggest good guys in open doors. And then that's where you would watch The Boys for more commentary on that. Shout out The Boys. Definitely. Yeah, believers anticipate Ahura Mazda's eventual victory, after which the followers of Angra Mainyu will suffer before all of humanity experiences eternal bliss. Fun. Zoroastrianism, ancient pre-Islamic religion of Iran that survives there in isolated areas and more prosperously in India, where the descendants of Zoroastrian Iranian Persian immigrants were known as Parsis, or Parsis. The Iranian prophet and religious reformer Zarathustra flourished before the 6th century BCE, more widely known outside Iran as Zoroaster, the Greek form of his name. It is traditionally regarded as the founder of the religion. Right. That's why it's named after him. Zoroastrianism contains both monotheistic and dualistic features. See, just say pantheistic? Yes. Pan is just many gods, right? Pantheistic. Monotheistic is one god, pantheistic. Why are they saying that there are two gods? And then also, like, there's so many angels and other entities in the pantheon. It's just that Jews and Christians have to lie because they want you to believe in monotheistic religion. So when they looked at Zoroastrianism and they're interacting with spirits outside of themselves, they're just going to project their religion onto us. So they're stealing everything from me, but they're telling me that I'm an expression of their imagination. So then that's where they're going to tell me that my religion is monotheistic when I see that it's made up of many families, of many individuals. And it's like, no, we are all individuals from different spaces that are choosing to relate with each other. Who the fuck are you? What the fuck? Like, and then these Jews and Masons are like, oh, well, you're all owned by our God, Yahweh. It's like, you stole that shit from me. What the fuck? And they're like, no, we're going to bind you in a spell. And man, see, that's why they're weak. Hey, they're weak. As Spider-Man, the webs that I have them weaved in go way harder than any spell they're practicing. It's just that, again, spirits are co-creating the circumstances with them. So if you're going to choose to get into certain vibrations and choose to serve them, I can't control that. So this is why everyone's supposed to learn, right? Everyone's supposed to be learning together. Everyone's supposed to be learning about their individuality and growing up. And cool. That's still you always learning about your infinitely individual space, because it's taking you to even communicate any energy at all, any day of the week, to make your mind matter through your body. Always. So, cool. It is likely influenced the other Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For a discussion of the context in which Zoroastrianism arose, see ancient Iranian religion. Cool. So there's way more words. I'd have to just subscribe for the full article. We're not going to do that because I can teach you way more about my religion than they can. But the whole point of this series is to see what the internet is saying so we can actually build upon it and clarify things, right? So let's see. Okay, my computer is going very slow. Yeah, this is extra. All right. Cool. Well, we were just documenting Britannica.com's writings on Zoroastrianism. Only the hymns or gathas are attributable. God damn. Attributable. Gosh, Chase. Get it together. Come attributable? Alright. Like I'm sneezing. Attributable to Zarathustra. They are written in various meters and in dialect different from the rest of the Avesta, except for 7 chapters, chiefly in prose, that appear to have been composed shortly after the prophet's demise. All these texts, okay, so it was by other people then. So that's not even by me. So if they composed that shit after Zoroaster left the planet, I literally don't even know like how they changed it and like everything that they're doing. So that's why I gotta just listen to Mercury. I gotta listen to MySpace because we have the information here in Atlantis. It's not about actually the internet being right. It's about building upon what the internet is already aware of so that we can cut up the lies, expose more truths. And there's a lot of stuff I'm not saying because I don't even want these videos to be super long. And everything's low-key about perfect timing. It is, actually. So, yeah, meeting the world where it's at. Balance. Not going below the world, but also not being super, like, in the world. Like, because that's really being below the world, is being in the world. That's what it means. You want to walk on water. Like Hermes. Jesus stole all of his drip, all the idea of walking on water, stolen from Hermes. It's about your mind being higher than your soul so that it can actually travel and see new horizons instead of drowning in emotions and connections. And then that's how you're able to communicate, and boom, your mind is infinitely expanding. So again, you go Dragon Ball Z character mode. Zoroastrianism, mind infinite expansion. That's your space. That's the whole point. Chase your space, and your mind will infinitely expand. That's why Jesus fasted 40 days in the desert. Stole that shit all from me. Pretty annoying, but we let it happen so everyone can relate on greater levels or some shit, I guess. And we're just going to make like meta shows in the future about the history of the world or some shit, I guess. Whatever. I just wish people didn't have to go through such horrible things, but we do. It's life. All right. Yeah. Good versus evil. This is Zoroastrianism, Britannica.com. I've been your psychedelic sagapom. Chase Clarence Calloway. Actually. Haha. But we will bring it down. Because I'm about to do another video. I'll be right back, actually. See you later if you're watching this to another episode. So in this case, instead of dropping it down, we're flying into a new episode. If I was about to talk to you, I would drop it down like we do at the beginning. But in this case, we're off. Peace. Later. I'll probably take a break, actually. I'll probably go to the gym. I've been sitting for a while. My caduceus is literally, our caduceus is, bro, like, we sit so much, our spines just, and it fucks up our nervous system. So this is how, like, the best way to get energy. Like, I wouldn't need to drink coffee. This isn't coffee. I'm just reminding myself I had a drink. But I would not need to drink coffee. This is hot chocolate. Caffeine and hot chocolate slaps, though, so I could have done that, but I didn't want to because I just didn't want to in this time, actually. I'm not opposed to that at all. Caffeine is fine. Everything in balance, bro. But the point is, when you are sitting all day, every day, an object in motion stays in motion, and the object at rest stays at rest. So when you lock your body into a certain movement pattern, your spine, your bones, they all get fucked up. This is how Jews and Masons have caused so many health problems for all of us by forcing us to live a lifestyle where we sit in school always looking down and messing up our spines, always just like fucking up our necks and putting all this pressure in places where there shouldn't be pressure, then our nervous system can't fire properly. Once our nervous system can't communicate and fire properly, this is where you start to get many problems throughout your body, many health problems that the medical industry is only going to make up words to label because they don't want you to know that you're supposed to be living a healthier lifestyle. They specifically create a lifestyle that you're supposed to create disease from. That's why they've weaponized Caduceus to build their body by destroying your body and then teaching your mind that you need their idea of what it means to be healthy to actually gain stability. And then this is where they shoot you. Now the whole world is getting shot with all these shots, just getting shot up by all these heavy metals, all these liquids, because of alchemy, hermetic alchemy. This is literally them practicing their version of hermetic alchemy. That's why they have the caduceus there. That's why the medical industry needs you to believe in them and be reliant on them. That's the point. Like when you're unhealthy or if you're sick, you're not supposed to be reliant on something outside of yourself. But this medical industry, the Masonic Jewish medical industry, they've created a matrix system where they need your health to be reliant on them, because that's how they consistently make money off your body and make you work harder. So if they're going to make money off of your health problems, well, you got to have health problems first. That's why they're always poisoning the air. They're always poisoning the air. That's why they're always poisoning the water. That's why they're always poisoning your food. That's why they're always poisoning the environment and everything that we can consume, because they need us to have health problems that they can use the caduceus to capitalize off of. So this is, them being very, very evil. Very, very evil. Very evil. Very evil. It's very sad. It's very fucked up. I wish they loved themselves, but they don't. So I hope you love yourself as we continue into a new episode. Much love to you. Peace out. Yeah.